We sit on the mat, towel, stick and water bottle. Cross your legs in a position where you feel comfortable. Hands resting on your knees. We're going to start making circles with our shoulders. Let's draw very big circles with our shoulders. Forward, up, back and down. Forward, up, back, back. And down. The biggest circles you can make. This improves the mobility of the scapula. It's a very important bone located in your upper back. And it allows us to move the shoulder in different planes. Many times, shoulder pain is caused by problems with shoulder blade mobility. With this exercise, we warm up all those shoulder muscles, and we also improve the mobility of the scapula. Forward, upward, backward, downward. Let's do 3 more. Forward, upward, backward, downward. 2. 1. Forward, upward, backward, and downward. We have done 10 repetitions in this direction, backward. Now we are going to do 10 repetitions in the opposite direction. And if this exercise seemed too easy for you, we can place our hands here on our shoulders to add resistance to this movement. And do it with a little help, since by keeping these elbows out, we are going to give greater mobility to these shoulder blades and a greater effect. But only do it if this variation doesn't cause you pain or if the previous variation was too easy. Imagine you have 2 pencils on your elbows and you have to draw the biggest circles possible. We do 3 backwards and forwards. 4 big circles as big as you can, as if you had a pair of pencils or pens on your elbows. Say 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Rest your arms, give your shoulders a little break. Let's grab the stick, which can simply be a broom handle. We're going to grab it with your hands 1 knee width apart and stretch your arms in such a way that your wrists rest on your knees. From here, we're going to slowly raise that stick as high as you can above your head. If you stop here, that's fine. If you can go further, that's fine too. The important thing is that you go as far as you can without any significant discomfort. This time, there will always be one shoulder that hurts. There will always be one shoulder that's better. And what we're going to do is use that healthier shoulder to help us to raise that gain higher and let the opposite arm follow along passively. For example, if my left shoulder is the one that hurts, what I do is use my right arm to push the cane up much more, so that my left arm rises passively as high as possible. A good way to move your shoulder without needing to use its muscles. You can also do it in front of a mirror, because as you can see, sometimes one side goes up more than the other. Having a mirror in front of you will let you see any kind of compensation, and it will help improve the symmetry of the exercise. 5 more. 5, 1. Always a set of 10 repetitions. You know you can add a second or third set. 2. If you have more time, the routine will last about 20 minutes. 3. 4. Last repetition to make it 10. And 5. Perfect. Let's put our hands down and let our shoulders rest for a bit. Next, we're going to work on the abduction movement. The abduction movement is when the arm moves laterally away from the body. It can be a pretty painful movement when we have a shoulder problem. That's why we're going to use our stick again. We're going to place one end in the palm of the hand, and with the healthier arm, let's use an example, as if the left arm were the painful one and the right arm were the healthy one. What we're going to do is push that stick, push it, until the shoulder rises to horizontal or even a little beyond. Next, we lower it slowly. Again, a passive movement. The left arm doesn't have much involvement in the movement, but we're still getting it to move with as little irritation as possible. The right arm, as you can see, pushes and lifts the opposite arm. It's important that it's completely to the side, that we don't go forward, diagonally, or directly facing forward. Always to the side, perpendicular, parallel to the body. We've done 4, let's do 6 more. I push, lift, hold for a few seconds, and return to the starting position. I push, lift, and return to the starting position. As you can see, the exercises are increasing, gradually getting harder and more challenging. So if at any point you feel a lot of pain or discomfort, it's best not to do the exercise and just stick to the exercises you've done before. Add 1 or 2 sets of each to make a more complete routine. We have 2 left. I relax and return to the starting position. Lateral raise. Last repetition. Come back. Perfect. Very good. Let's let our shoulders rest for a little while. And next we're going to take things up a notch in difficulty and tackle isometric contraction for the shoulder. To do this, grab your stick like this. Again, rest your wrists at the level of your knees. And what we're going to do is a contraction without movement. With your elbows pressed firmly against both sides of your ribs and your hands gripping the stick tightly, we're going to try to pull outward, as if you wanted to pull apart and break the stick in half. The movement is as follows, without the stick. It's as if you wanted to separate your hands as much as possible from each other, which creates an isometric exercise, a muscular workout at the level of the rotator cuff. What do? We grip the stick tightly so there isn't that movement, but there is a contraction, an intention to separate the hands. What I do is pull outward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and relax. Obviously you can't see it on camera, but when I pull apart 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I notice a good contraction in the back of my shoulder. Let's go with the third one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5. Pull your hands apart as much as possible. 3, 4, and 5. Relax. Remember, it's like you want to separate your hands from each other, but you can't do it because they're holding the stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Isometric contraction. A contraction without any movement within the joint. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 3 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the gentlest way to do it. 1, 2. A contraction. Strengthening the muscle with as little load as possible. Relax. I have 1 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. I set the stick down. I rest for a few moments. And now we're going to do the same exercise, but this time placing the stick behind your body. Resting your hands, your wrists. I'm going to position myself like this so you can see it better on the floor. This time it's going to be the same. We're going to keep our elbows slightly bent, shoulders almost relaxed, and we're going to try to separate our hands from each other as if we wanted to break that stick in 2. Again, an isometric contraction. I separate my arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. You're going to feel the contraction more on the side, toward the front, since this shoulder is now in internal rotation and is working differently. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We've done 5. We have 5 more to go. Remember to pull your hands apart as if you wanted to break that stick in 2. 6. 7. The simplest way to start strengthening the shoulder without causing too much irritation in the joint. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 9. Last repetition. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 10. Perfect. Great job with the mobility stick and also with isometric contraction. Let's add one last exercise to work on internal shoulder rotation. It's an exercise that can be a bit tricky, a bit painful. I suggest practicing it at home, noting any symptoms, and if it causes significant discomfort, avoid it entirely. I'm going to position myself sideways, slightly turned back so you can see it properly. We take the towel with the non-painful arm. We've determined that the non-painful arm is the right one. In the example, I'm going to place that towel over my shoulder from behind. until it reaches the floor. With the painful arm, as you can see, I'm going to grab the towel at a lower level. What are we going to do? With my right arm, I'm going to pull up and forward so that passively the shoulder rises upward. There's no need for any muscular effort since it's the towel that lifts the arm and shoulder upward. We're going to do 10 repetitions holding for a couple of seconds at the end. That is, you grab the towel, and if you notice pain as soon as you lift it a little, we stop right there. 1, 2, 3, and we relax. If you can go higher without pain, stay there as high as you can without too much discomfort. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Go back down, pull again, and lift up until you feel some discomfort, then return to the starting position. If you can't even put your hand on your back, obviously this exercise isn't for you. Let's go again. This way, we put a little bit of stress on that shoulder and work on internal rotation in a completely passive way. 1, 2, 3, we've got 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, 1, 2, 3, 7, 1, 2, 3, 8, 1, 2, 3, 9, 1, 2, 3, and 10. Take a look. Perfect. Let's put the towel aside. We're done with it. I turn around. Let's rest those shoulders a bit since they've had a good workout. And now we're going to work on strengthening with a higher level of difficulty, for which you'll need a bottle of water. It can be a 1 kilo or 2 kilo dumbbell, but I know not everyone has this kind of equipment at home, so a bottle of water will be more than enough. We're going to start with the simplest external rotation exercise. For this, we lie down on our side. Well, the towel can help us, as always, to support our head. We lie down on our side in a comfortable position. We take the bottle with the painful arm, which will be the arm on top. We plant that elbow firmly right here at waist level, where we basically have a space to place it. We grab the bottle and let it drop down to the floor. And from here, what are we going to do? An external rotation. Lift that bottle off the floor. Go as high as you can without causing too much discomfort. Next, lower it slowly. Slowly. 1. We have to complete 10 repetitions. Let the bottle rest on the floor and try again. We give it our all and let that bottle drop very, very slowly. I like the falling time to be at least twice as long as the rising time. We let it drop and relax. It's quite an intense exercise, even if it doesn't seem like it, and it's going to work the rotator cuff well. And you'll probably notice some discomfort in the back of your shoulder. That's where the rotator cuff is located, on the scapula, the bone we mentioned at the beginning of the video. And the reason for shoulder pain, most of the time, is simply the lack of conditioning, the lack of strength in that rotator cuff, which, with the slightest effort, starts hurting. It becomes very sensitive, since it can't carry out any kind of task that requires a bit more strength or stability. Also, that rotator cuff is responsible for exactly that, providing posterior stability to the shoulder. And as soon as we make an effort beyond what's normal, the shoulder isn't able to perform this activity, and it complains. It says, I can't, you have to stop, and it does this through pain. We've done 6, I think we've done 6. We lift up, we go down very slowly, 7, 8. Oh. We lift up. We let it fall. 9. We lift it up. And 10. It seems like a simple exercise, right? Well, I assure you that I can really feel my rotator cuff working. And I feel some discomfort, and it's not very comfortable. Let's continue with the next exercise. Let's take it further. The challenge of strengthening. And instead of working with the elbow close to the body, which is very protected and keeps the shoulder very protected, we're going to work with the shoulder slightly separated from the torso. We position ourselves like this, and we rest the elbow on the knee. It's the same type of exercise, okay? We let that bottle drop down until obviously the elbow and forearm rest on the knee and don't allow it to go any lower. And from here, we rotate outward. Now we have less stability in the shoulder, since it's not supported by the ribs, we hold it up for a few seconds and then lower it again very, very gently. Once you get down, rest for a few seconds and return to the starting position. Let's go with the second one. We let it drop. Very slowly, always take twice as long going down as coming up. 3. 4. If you find it uncomfortable to let your arm hang like that with the bottle, just use your other hand and hold the bottle to give your shoulder a little rest. 5. Or you can also use a set of pillows or whatever you have so that the area with the bottle is supported at the end of the movement. 6. 4. 7. 8. I recommend doing the exercise with 1 kilo. Starting with 1 kilo is already quite intense. Since right now I'm doing it with the bottle half full, and honestly, I'm really feeling my muscles working. 8. And that's even though I exercise regularly. I go to the gym, I lift weights. 9. Last repetition. You're going to feel a burning sensation in your shoulder, which means we're working that rotator cuff intensely. And 10. Great job. A very intense workout that will allow me to have a much stronger shoulder. Perfect. Next, we're going to do a simpler exercise. I'll turn around so you can see it. In this one, we're going to lie on our backs and work on the opposite movement, internal rotation. But first, a little pectoral stretch. Grab your bottle, grab your dumbbell, let that arm fall back until the bottle touches the floor, if you can, okay? Some people will only get this far. Well, whatever position you reach, we're going to hold it for 30 or 40 seconds. Simply to stretch the entire front part of the shoulder, all the muscles in the chest area. We've already done 10. If you notice that you don't feel much tightness, you can also place a cushion or even the towel right under your shoulder, which will lift it and allow you, as you can see, to move your arm much more into external rotation. That's 20. 30. 40. And 45. Perfect. I'm removing the towel again to place it under my head. We're going to do an internal rotation movement. That is, with the elbow flexed at 90 degrees, the shoulder at 90 degrees of abduction, I'm going to raise that bottle up to the vertical position. As you can see, it's much easier than before because the internal rotator, specifically the subscapularis, is much stronger. It's a very bulky muscle with a very powerful tendon. The thing is, now we're going to do a more difficult movement. We're going to let that bottle drop very slowly, very slowly, very slowly, until it either touches the ground again or you reach your limit. From there, we go back up and follow the same instruction. Take at least twice as long to go down as to go up. We return to vertical. That's 3. I lowered it very slowly, keeping my shoulder on the ground, which is important. Something I haven't mentioned. Keep your shoulder in contact with the floor at all times. 5. 6. 7. 8. Last 2. 9. And 10. Perfect. Let's go back to the starting position. Let's hold for a couple of seconds in that nice external rotation, and before we switch to the next exercise. Let's set the bottle aside, we won't need it anymore, and let's get into the quadruped position. It's a bit of a controversial position, I know, because many of you don't like it. Because this position puts a lot of pressure on the knees. We have a small solution, which is to place a pillow under the knees to reduce the pressure on them. Very good. This exercise may seem simple, but I assure you it's not. What is it? It's about working the muscles that stabilize the scapula. All those muscles that are around the bone we mentioned at the beginning of the video, in the dorsal area. We're going to do a scapular movement. Place your hands down. Spread your hands, slightly wider than your shoulders. And we're going to do two movements. I let my chest drop down while keeping my arms straight. This makes my shoulder blades come together in the back. And then I do the opposite movement, like trying to push the floor but without moving my arms. I arch my back as much as possible. This will cause all those periscapular muscles to contract. I lower my chest down. And then I raise my chest up as much as possible. If your wrists hurt, you can also do it with your fists for support. I let my chest drop down. Just make sure that your fists are slightly wider than your shoulders, and I extend upward. I round my spine downward. Actually, I arch my spine downward, and then I round it upward. As you can see, throughout the entire exercise, my arms remain completely still. It's a movement that happens between my rib cage and my shoulder blades. I bring my shoulder blades together in the back. I spread my shoulder blades and push the floor away. I squeeze my shoulder blades together. I spread my shoulder blades and push the floor away. 3 more. I bring my shoulder blades together in the back. I spread my shoulder blades and push the floor away. You can do a difficult exercise and you'll see that you manage to find that muscle connection and you can move what you need to move, the shoulder blades and the chest, not the shoulders. If it's easy, because this variation is quite easy, we can put more weight on the arms. The more weight there is on the arms, the harder the exercise will be. For example, in a halfway push-up position. From here, we do the same thing. We let the chest drop, move the chest away, round the back, let the chest drop, move it away. But at no point am I bending my elbows. The elbows are always very straight. Once again, I let my chest drop and arch my back. I move my shoulder blades apart, then bring them together and separate them again. And we can take it a step further and do it from the push-up position, which is obviously much more complicated. Again, I let my chest drop, separate my shoulder blades, let my chest drop down, bringing my shoulder blades together, separate my shoulder blades, lift my chest. As you can see, different variations. The more weight you have on your arms, the more difficult the exercise will be. Very good. We finished this strengthening part. Now let's do 4 stretches that will help you relax all the muscles in your arm and shoulder. We return to the starting position. Remember, with your legs crossed in front. We're going to do a stretch for the posterior capsule. And for that, we're going to place the painful arm straight out in front and we're going to push it back with our opposite arm. As if we wanted to open up this whole back part of the shoulder, separating the shoulder from its joint as much as possible in the back area. You should feel a slight tightness here, not too strong, but quite pleasant. We're going to hold this position for 45 seconds. We've already done 10. If you want to see it from the side, it would look like this. 20. 30. 40. And 45, relax your shoulder. Rest your hands on your knees to give yourself a break. Next, the back of the wrist is placed at waist level, just above the iliac crest, which is this bony part of the pelvis. From here, use the other hand to gently hold that elbow and pull it slightly forward. You'll feel a vague, unusual tightness deep inside the shoulder. This way, we're stretching the supraspinatus. You don't have to push too hard because you'll cause yourself discomfort. It's something very light, very subtle. If you can grab your elbow, you can use a wall, you can use your radiator, whatever you need to support yourself, and let that elbow move forward. I'm going to turn to the side. It's already been 10, so you can see it better. I push forward. As you can see, it's very subtle and you'll start to feel it soon. Tightness at the shoulder level, 20. 30. 40. And at 45, we relax. Excellent stretch. Let's move on to the next muscle. Biceps, the long head of the biceps, which is obviously called biceps because it has two heads, is closely connected to the movement of the scapula to stretch that biceps muscle. We're going to place the arm behind your back. With the opposite hand, grab it at the wrist. And once we grab that arm at the wrist, we have to externally rotate it outward. As if I wanted to move my elbow back to feel tightness along the front of the arm, I grab my arm behind me at the wrist and bend the wrist back. As you can see here. And from here we apply an external rotation. As you see, this is relaxed. This is external rotation. It can be a little difficult to master. It's a slightly more complicated stretch, but the more you externally rotate and supinate, the more you'll feel the stretch. We have this hand here on the wrist because it prevents the wrist from moving outward when you rotate it. This hand here limits that wrist, puts the wrist into extension and keeps the arm in place. A little more complicated. This is harder to do sitting down. I have to tell you, it's much better done standing up. It looks like we're doing a bodybuilder pose, a posture, but it's a very good exercise to relax the whole biceps muscle. We've already done 20. Yeah. 30. 40. And 45, relax your arm. Congratulations, you have finished the stretching part. Well, no, we still have one stretch left, the tricep stretch, and with that one we'll finish the whole stretching part. To do this stretch, we have to place the arm behind the head and use the opposite hand to push that elbow back. It's a stretch that's pretty uncomfortable to do, I'm not going to lie, because if you already have limited shoulder mobility, it's pretty hard to lift your arm. So I have a trick for you, and it's simply to use the armrest of your sofa to place your elbow and let your body drop down. This completely changes things. Keep your arm bent, rest your hand on your back, and let yourself drop down. This is going to stretch not only the triceps a lot, but also all the muscles of the latissimus dorsi and the rotator cuff. I'll say it again, place your arm, especially your elbow, on the armrest. Bend your arm until your palm is on the back of your neck, and from here, let yourself drop down to apply more pressure at the shoulder level. With your opposite hand, you can adjust the pressure a bit so it's not too much. You don't want to hurt your shoulder. We're at 20 already. 30. 40. And 45, perfect. Gently return to the starting position and we finish with that stretching section. But don't go away because I have one last exercise that's very, very good for shoulder pain. In fact, it's one of my favorite exercises. For this, I'm going to need a chair, so give me a moment to bring it on screen. It's called the Codman exercise. Let's see, can you see me? You can see me? Yes, you can. Let's raise the camera a bit. Perfect. To do it, I'm going to turn the chair around to continue with the same example we were using. Painful left arm. You'll need a bottle again, although this time it can be something much heavier. It could be a 5, 6, or even 10 kilo dumbbell. What we're going to do is lean on a chair, rest your forearm, and then rest your head. This is essential because if you don't rest your head, you won't be able to fully relax the shoulder muscles, which is what we're really aiming for in this routine. Rest your forearm, rest your head. I relax. The most important thing is that you manage to relax and loosen your shoulder. And from here, we're going to do small pendulum movements. Codman pendulum movements outward for 1 or 2 minutes. This will help you decompress the entire rotator cuff area. The entire subacromial area, which is so problematic in shoulder pain. Once you do this for 1 or 2 minutes, focusing very, very well on relaxing that shoulder, then do another couple of minutes, but in the opposite direction, inward. It's important not to make very wide movements, but rather small, gentle movements. Find that shoulder relaxation, that release that allows the shoulder to decompress and relax all the tendons of the rotator cuff. An excellent exercise to finish the routine and also to do from time to time to relieve your shoulder symptoms. Very good. We've reached the end of the routine. I'm glad you've made it this far, and I hope you've done some of the exercises at home since they're extremely effective. All right, my friends, we've finished with this question. I thank you again for making it this far, and I want to let you know that I won't be live tomorrow or the day after because I have other commitments. However, on Monday, I'll be here with you, as always, at 3 in the afternoon to give you the best information about your health. Greetings to everyone. See you in the next live stream.